keeping in mind, because that rain, as you saw, is going to continue to push through as we are heading into the next few days. Although the storms may not be there, that is intense storms at all times, we are certainly going to have the potential for a lot of rain even outside of that. So this is just more of a word. These work probably a little better for some people. Sometimes those graphics are a lot. So this just kind of breaks things down a little bit for the storm impacts for today. The damaging winds 60 to 80 miles per hour, large hail, that golf ball to tennis ball size hail, tornadoes. I'm concerned about this again, because as we're going into the late afternoon, early evening, where there's still that warm atmosphere, looks like things are kind of coming together for some strong storms that could produce those supercells and could be strong at times. And I think with the National Weather Service was talking about EF2 and above. So again, make sure you have a plan for today and it doesn't catch you off guard. And flooding, areas of heavy rain certainly late tonight, especially as we're heading into eastern Arkansas, but then for the rest of the state, continuing to see that as we are looking to the next few days. So already it is 75. It is 8:14 in the morning. It is 75 degrees already. And the southern portion of the state just a tad bit warmer. I think they're cooling off in northern areas, but hopefully we will start to see that simmer down here just a little bit. But taking a look at our radar loop, just the entire area, starting to see those storms that were active in Oklahoma this morning start to make their way here into Arkansas. We've got that tornado watch. We've got some thunderstorm warnings as well, keeping that in mind. So here is what we are looking at as far as what is active in Arkansas right now. That severe thunderstorm warning has just popped over into our area, but we are looking again for that tornado watch until noon, I believe, today. And this is going to be radar indicated, starting to see some of those stronger storms just kind of make their way in. And in central Arkansas, we're not seeing a ton yet, but you can see things are already starting to make their way. And then we were talking about here in northwest Arkansas, starting to see probably some of that move into the Mena area too, and some more lighter rain showers will push in here in just a little while. Just one more look here just so you can see the specific counties for that tornado watch, and that is again until noon today. And I'll be with you actually today on the noon show. So Tom and Nathan are going to come in and watch and get us through all of that weather for tonight. But again, this prime atmosphere, the 75 degrees here, again, is just kind of adding to things. So I know we have a couple of questions. It's really windy right now. Does that mean the tornadoes will be stronger today? No, not necessarily. We do have, let me find it here, wind gust. It just means that the system is fairly strong and the gradient is tight, but it doesn't necessarily mean that tornadoes are going to be stronger. It just means right now the system itself out ahead of the main line is strong, and it's again very tightly wound. When you think about those the pressure gradient, when we talk about that, think about it as lines, and the lines are just very slim, and so when they're going through fast. But when we talk about the wind forecast, again, we could see gusts up to 30 miles per hour, and as we're looking into the next couple of hours around noon, you can see Stuttgart could see some gusts up to 46 miles per hour, and especially in northeastern Arkansas, they've already had enough they're having to deal with, but it's continuing to push through, and we're even seeing some of those 50-60 mile an hour gusts that are possible, especially to our north. The further we move to the east, and I mean just east of Little Rock, so I would include Little Rock in this, we could see some of those winds continuing. But no, I don't think necessarily these winds will say that we're going to have stronger tornadoes or even tornadoes at all. It's just part of the atmosphere of what's ahead of the frontal boundary that's going to produce this, this weather. So do we have another question, Peyton? All right. Should you open a window partially in a tornado? Grew up hearing that. Okay, so we just had to verify on this, and actually for some of us, you may want to just because it makes you feel good. I have a personal story here. My grandparents were much older, and I remember when I was growing up, very little, if we had tornadoes, the first thing we did was we opened the family Bible. I don't know if it was a particular verse, and then we opened all the windows to relieve the pressure in the house so that it wouldn't get sucked up. So I know that's an old wives' tale, and it's one of those that just brings back some memories for me. But no, not necessarily. That's not something you can do. But I know sometimes we do these things and it just makes us feel better. But I know it's a nice memory for me just when I was growing up that my grandmother used to do. But we've got to verify that. I believe it will be on our teachv11.com, and you can watch that, and they explain the dynamics of all of that. But I love that. I love that question. All right, I'm sorry, I don't understand the high risk. Does that automatically mean tornadoes are guaranteed? Aha, I've got something for that. Let's talk about that. Let me pull up here. So when we talk about Storm Prediction Center outlooks, what they give down to us for what they are thinking. So this is one area here. I'm going to put on my glasses here so I can actually read it. When we talk about level 1, those isolated, I'm going to go ahead and just open these up all the way. There we go. So most of the time, like I mentioned, we are on that level 3. We get kind of nervous when we talk about that enhanced. Those are numerous severe storms. And this is what these things mean: a longer duration of widespread and a few of those intense. So when we go to that red, that moderate, those are the widespread severe storms. That's what a good portion of Arkansas is right now. And those storms are likely and long-lived, widespread, and can be intense at times. So again, another level of impact there. Level 5, widespread severe storms expected, long-lived, widespread, dangerous, and intense. So what that means is, again, we'll have to look at the specifics on things, but usually when you get to that point, the atmosphere is ripe, as you can say, for that tornado development. It is very, very unstable. So the more unstable the atmosphere, it means more intense in these levels that we will get to. But again, it doesn't necessarily mean there's tornadoes. It just means a lot of these storms are certainly there. They're certainly going to be intense. They're certainly going to be impactful and can last for a good long amount of time. So we are looking, again, I don't want to discount the fact that if you're not in a level 4, level 5, and you see we're in that yellow, that slight, oh, don't worry. Again, it can happen. It just means as we're heading into those higher levels, things are just more expected, I guess we could say. Well, it says that, expected. So again, just making sure you have those watches and warnings coming to you directly in the most updated information, because again, it is so fluid with these situations, how things will pop up and move away and then pop up again very quickly. All right, what category is Sherwood, Arkansas? So Sherwood, I believe you are going to be in, I'm just going to double check here because it was right on the line. I believe you are in that red moderate category, but I'm double checking. Yeah. I would say, yep, so moderate. But again, you notice how close all of those areas are right there. Again, I think we can't say just because we're not in the high risk that we're in better situation than, say, Stuttgart, or that Russellville is in a better situation than Little Rock because of those categories. Everyone today needs to be super, super aware of what is going on with the weather throughout the day and the evening, especially if folks are heading to bed tonight when eastern Arkansas, when we're starting to see things really ramp up in that area. But I would say that even in Little Rock, Batesville, Arkadelphia, even in Russellville, you saw how those storms were starting to intensify quickly earlier as we were looking at the timing of things. So again, no one needs to let their guard down today, but especially those of us that are in eastern Arkansas. Is there a chance of a cap or bust? So I think actually that is what is keeping some of those storms from being developed off to our west, and we're getting just a little bit of a break, but then they're starting, the cap will lift, and then we're starting to see that development. That's why that development is so critical for things right now. Let's take a look at the radar real quick and we'll see what all we have going on. Again, things are starting to pick up, especially in the western portion of the state. Not seeing a ton of activity in central Arkansas other than some windy conditions again, but that's going to continue and to pop up as we're looking through the next few hours, though. Things will continue to push through, and again, looking at those storms continuing to make their way. Current warnings, not a lot, just that severe thunderstorm in northwest Arkansas. So all the activity that we're really watching is going to be that area. I wanted to go ahead and pull up, there we go, 3-hour radar loop one more time, and just let you see what is going on there, because there's not a lot of activity here in Arkansas, which is good news right now, but again, it will be quickly. Those storms have just continued. We've watched that all morning on Wake Up Central. Those storms just continue to be strong and make their way to Arkansas. And again, that cap will keep things just a little bit downplayed as it's making its way into Arkansas. But once that cap is released and it starts getting all of that, that uplift, that's where we're starting to see things really pop up. And that was one of the things that we were watching. Let me pull this up one more time here. Let's go through this one more time. Find the one I need. I have too many graphics. Let's see. Okay, here we go. This is what I was looking for. Let's look at the timing one more time as we're heading into this, and this will give you guys a great idea. And then I'll, of course, be updating online, and then also I'll be on the Vine and on the noon show, and you can check for information. So here's the timing one more time. Again, a lot of clouds. We're seeing things start to push in. Things are getting a little more intense by 2:30 p.m., especially anywhere from Mountain Home, again, Russellville and Mena. And then we're as we're looking through the afternoon, we're getting that little bit of a break with that line pushing through, but things are beginning to pop up there, and things get really intense as they are heading into eastern Arkansas. So again, just making sure that you are weather aware today. Download that THV 11 app. You'll get the latest watches and warnings. That is so important today to make sure you have that updated information. And once again, Tom and Nathan are going to be on at 2:30. If they're not already covering that severe weather, they'll go ahead and let you know exactly what to expect. But this is going to be a situation we're going to be dealing with most of today into the evening. Again, southern Arkansas still going to be dealing with this as we're heading into 12:30 a.m. on Thursday. And again, showers are going to continue, and the rain will continue as well, at least through the early part of the weekend, and that's where that flooding potential really comes into play. So with that, just remember to make sure that you're not driving through anything that's elevated as far as the floods go. It can lift your car very easily, and then you are trapped, and that's just a scary situation. Plus, you don't really know what is going on below that water. So once again, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I know it's a lot of information. Again, just making sure you're aware is the greatest thing. And we are looking at this streaming at 2:30.
Wake Up Central starts now with the THV 11 Weather Impact Alert.
Good morning. It is 8:25. I'm Karen Fuller, and meteorologist Tracy Beene will have your weather and